Hey, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions. It's a little different today. Got a lot going on, but I've gotten this email in various forms and renditions, and I decided to do a video on it. Essentially, what we're going to talk about today is the storage auction business versus internet marketing. And this is going to be a long one because there's a lot of information. So, I'm going to jump right in. The person who sent me this email wants to remain anonymous, so we'll just call him Skippy. I thought I sent you a message, but it appears it didn't go through, so I'm going to try and duplicate the message as best I can. I need an honest answer from one brother to another. Would you say that internet marketing and the selling of information is far more better than going out looking for stuff at storage places? I read one of your blog posts and I see that the business model of storage flipping requires a lot of work, no leisure, no ability to travel full time, ! Whereas selling your information, holding boot camps reap the same amount of money and you don't have to worry about traffic. You can do it from anywhere in the world and it only takes a few hours max out of your day. Am I right? Oh, this is going to be interesting. I've read that many people who were offline business owners gave up their life to spend the majority of their time online training others and selling information products. This can't be a coincidence. I'm just asking you to confirm my suspicions. Seems the actual best business and business model is online selling digital products or any product that requires no direct contact with product, no employees, and a lifestyle you want from anywhere. You could be a globe-trotting hedonist if you want it. LOL. Thanks, Skippy. Alright. This is the deal. We're going to go back and break up some of this stuff. Definitely, there's some misconceptions here. First of all, I work probably 60 hours a week. So the few hours a day thing, that's not true. And the same money, once again, that's not true. I don't make as much money at doing what I do now as I did in the storage auction business. True. Don't even come close. That's kind of it. And I'm going to go into my thing. Alright. This is the deal. So many people are looking for what I call the utopia of being able to work from home, earn an excellent income, and not have to deal with employees. I actually have an employee. So that ain't even true. It sounds good. You know, the 4-hour work week, a lot of people are chasing that dream. But in actuality, I'm not an internet marketer. I've been accused of being a motivation speaker, an internet marketer, and a lot of other unsavory things. However, I actually own a publishing and media company. As the video began, you noticed a few things. I have tools. I have a camera. I have the Chicago Book of Style. I have 2 Macs. There's some infrastructure here, and it wasn't cheap. And I have physical books. Yes, ebooks are blowing up. They're taking over. But guess what? 70% of the books sold around the world, and the United States includes that, were print. Yes, at some point, ebooks are going to take over print. May not happen for another 10, 15, 20 years for real. So that's one of the reasons I have print books. And when I first started, I had people who wanted the print book versus the ebook. Now I have people who want ebooks. Oh, for the record, all of the ebooks, Craigslist, Ultimate Garage Sale, and the 2 storage auction books, you have to get on Kindle. I signed up for Kindle Select, and it's an exclusive deal for 90 days. So I can't sell those on my website. If you're waiting for those to go back, they're not. Until October, I think. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But essentially, this is some advice I got from Clark Howard years ago. If you want to take your knowledge, things that you've learned, and then sell them, to reap that equity, before you can do something, you must be something. I think Goethe said that. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, all you. Well, this is who really said that. Yeah, Google monsters. Anyway, but the deal is, this is something he said because people will call in and it's like, Lay, I want to freelance. I want to work from home. And he said the same thing time after time, year after year. Those who were successful becoming a freelance consultant were people who had extensive experience in the industry that they were consulting on or that they worked in. Those were the most successful because there's so many misconceptions with this business. It's not, in many ways, the storage auction business was easier mentally, but physically it was taxing because there is a high barrier to interest. Yes, there's a lot of, it's a high barrier to entry. There's a lot of things going on, and the harder it is to do something, the less competition you're going to have. Now let's talk about internet marketing. I looked at that, and this is my opinion. Most of it's garbage. That's my. I'm going to go there. The Patero rule, the 80-20 rule. 80% is garbage, 20% is real. I think there's some people who do internet marketing. They have a great product. They help people, and making the product, selling the product is first and foremost. Whereas with other ones, the biggest draw is recruiting new members. You got to bring more people in. And even with some of those, they work very hard. I'm not going to discount that. But to me, my opinion, if the heavy emphasis is on bringing folks in versus the product, it's probably sucks. That's just my opinion. But that whole world is so different because it actually got in on the storage auction craze because when it first started, I remember, because I owned the market for damn near 2 years. I had a whole year, before the shows came on. Then when the shows came on, internet marketers jumped on, search engine optimization techniques. I mean, it just went crazy. And I saw that my blog traffic went, I'll put something up, bam, rank up in Google, first day. All that changed because there were so many competitors jumping in. And I just sat there and watched and I was writing blog posts, I was posting, I was doing all this stuff, and it wasn't making a damn difference because there was so many people that jumped into the market. So I actually abandoned the blog to a degree and focused my efforts here on YouTube because they weren't here. There's maybe 4 people who sell storage auction related material. They're on YouTube, and I'm kicking their ass in terms of views, content, number of videos. I'm kicking their ass. So I can fight 4 people, or I can fight hundreds. That's a no-brainer. So there's a little bit of strategy with that. But to answer your question, Skippy, there's so many variables that will determine if it's easy or not easy. Because I spent a quarter of my life in the storage auction business, have a lot of information, knowledge, experiences to share that came from years and years of hard-ass work. Going back to you must be something before you can do something. I make my own products. And if you're going to be an internet marketer and you don't have your own products, you're going to have to get them from somewhere else, which means there's a cost, which means you are buying inventory. And essentially, unless you're just brilliant or have something really, really wonderful to offer, no one's going to buy your crappy product for 20, 30, 40, 50, $100. I mean, you may get a few people, but the internet is like channel 13, as we used to say. I mean, it just spreads, and it's going to be very short-lived. So you've got that problem. 2, you got another problem, credibility. Who the fuck are you? I mean, seriously, you just come up there, hey, I'm Bob, and people like, okay, Bob, looks nice, sounds nice, but you got a huge credibility issue because the thing that I said in 2009, because I did the writing thing before, and there was a few references from 2000 on the internet. So that wasn't just like, oh, I'm just doing this. So you got a credibility issue, you got a product issue, and You got to spend a lot of loot. I have various friends who were doing domain reselling, who were. It's not cheap. It's not cheap doing this stuff. You're going to have to spend some money. It's very, very hard to throw up a website, have no real product, no real traffic. Oh, that's another thing. If you're going to do internet marketing from a blog, a website, you're going to have to get crazy traffic to make money. And either you're going to be, once again, if you're brilliant, you can get people to come there. If you're not, you're going to have to pay for it, which could be, paid, PPC. These things are very expensive. When I first started, I ran a Google AdWords campaign, just dedicated $1,000. That shit was gone like that. The return, wah, wah. There was no return. There was none. I did better putting my stuff on Craigslist. So you really have to look at a whole bunch of different variables before you can just jump into it, because, like I said, it's the dream. A lot of people want to do it. But in my estimation, for most people, it's untenable. There's a guy, Amit, he's got a book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, and there's also his website, I will teach you to be rich.com. He teaches people how to do this stuff. So I will direct you over there because, it's a lot of good information. But for an average person who's really not done anything, or unless you're first. There's a lot of people who created something and they were the first in that market, did the website, made a lot of money and got out before it got bad. I'm not going to say you can't do it, but I will say it's not as easy as you would assume. Because, once again, I own a publishing company with a real life employee who doesn't work for grapes. Okay? I have cost in terms, I don't carry a lot of inventory, but I have a little bit. And I just launched a new book, which I will be carrying more inventory on that. So I'm going to say right now, you need to do this. You need to look into your inventory of personal assets and figure out what you have that you could sell to somebody that they're going to pull out their wallet and plunk down their credit card and pay you over and over and over again. You got to do that because, like I said, I looked at the internet marketing thing. I read a lot of information. I spent weeks studying this stuff, and one guy did help me. He suggests you have a blog, you have a product of $25 to $50, and you work on getting, a few hundred sales a month. And his stuff worked for me. This whole thing about creating a blog and getting millions and millions of hits, that's rare. There's just too much noise on the internet for you to start from scratch and reach a significant point. And that's another part of this. Time. July 17th was my 3rd year online. It's been 3 years. And, it's been moving. And that first year, it was like, okay. It wasn't like, like I said, compared to my former income, it was like, ooh. But that was a trade-off because I wanted to write books, I wanted to communicate, I wanted to share stories. And it's a trade-off. I don't believe you can have it all. I think that's one of the biggest myths on the planet, and a lot of people are killing themselves chasing the facade. I think you can have what you want in stages in time. Could I be out there in the storage auction game and doing the things that I'm doing? No. Not the way that I'm doing it. No. Couldn't. I wouldn't be as far ahead on my publishing company if I was trying to do both at the same time. It wouldn't have worked out. It just wouldn't, because, as you know, it's a lot of work to be successful in the storage auction business. But it's a trade-off. Do I spend this time, earning my dues, building my chops, going through these changes, learning from my mistakes? Because I do see a huge payoff. Because one thing you are correct in is anything online is just going to blow up in a certain point in time. Because one of the reasons I'm busting my ass to get this product out there, to learn more, to make it better, is, believe it or not, most of the world does not have the internet access that we do. They don't have it. I was talking to a friend about this very thing yesterday. They don't have it. But at some point they will. And those that have Internet assets that can generate money are going to reap the benefits. That's the thing that's really jumping off right now. And as these markets emerge and they come online and they're looking for product and content, those that have it are going to really do well, because this is another conversation I have with a lot of people about publishing. A lot of people think that self-publishing has just been flooded, and to say what my uncles, you ain't seen nothing yet. I bought books from people that I can contact. I bought books on Amazon about self-publishing ebooks, and I can very easily reach these people. I've never worked in any industry where you could just reach out and catch someone who's at the top of their game like this. This is like a renaissance. This is like the golden age of pulp fiction again. Short stories are selling. All kinds of wonderful things are happening, which to me indicate this is very, very small and it's going to blow up. A few months ago, I did a video while I'm out the business, and I put in there that, I'll give a few $100,000 a year to make millions later. It's called delayed gratification. I just believe that in 5 years, if you are a writer that's got good to excellent product and in the neighborhood of an inventory of 20 to 30 different items, you are going to be stroking, because this is where being a data junkie comes in. I've studied a lot of authors, I've studied a lot of people, and sure, you have one hit wonders and everyone loves that. It's like, hey, they wrote that one book, made millions, it was turned into a movie. That's atypical. That's not the norm. For every one writer that you have that does that, you have millions who did not. Not thousands, not tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, millions of writers who did not. Every year there's 250,000 books published worldwide. That's a lot of noise. You got to really work your ass to be recognized and to sell some books. It's just, and being in the storage auction business gave me that hustle, that drive, and that ability and the knowledge base to do it. If I didn't do the storage auction business, I couldn't do this right now. I would not have a clue. All that stuff I went through in the storage auction games, from getting ran up, people playing games, to dealing with code enforcement, dealing with all that stuff, just gave me such a perspective that this is not easy, but in terms of the storage auction business, this ain't even close in terms of the difficulty. And when you have that type of perspective, because I hear people, it's like, it's like I'm not selling anything, and I'm a member of many forums and groups, and I hear stuff I'm not selling, and I want to say, because you're not marketing anything. And because in the writing world, marketing is kind of like a dirty word. It's like, you should write and the cream rises to the crop, and I say bullshit. That's also like that other myth, do what you love and the money will come. Bullshit. Mark Cuban said it best, follow your determination, because there's a lot of people that love a lot of things, but they don't get their ass out of bed every day to do it. Follow your determination. Do what you can do. I've had jobs that I absolutely, positively hated, and I was the best at it. That's what's going to get you forward. Not doing what you love and your passion and everything, because if your passion doesn't make you get out of bed and sit at your desk or work in the gym or go out there and meet people for 8, 12, 15 hours a day, you are not going to be successful. I don't care how much you love that shit. It's just not going to happen. And a lot of people fall into that okie doke. It's some of the worst advice on the planet. You have to really work hard. There is no substitute for hard work. There is none. There's zilch, zero, nada. Don't fall into it. Don't believe it. So if you want to get into internet marketing, I'm going to suggest one place, the Warriors Forum. They seem to be pretty real there. And, look into that, because there are people making, because got goobles, got gobs of money doing it, but they're rare. They're rare, Average internet marketer probably makes anywhere from maybe $500 to $6,000 a year, which if you're doing it part-time, that's wonderful. And, if you got a full-time job and you can make 20, 30 grand a year in internet marketing, you've created yourself a wonderful situation. You've got self-employment income that you can use to offset your taxes by putting money in yourself. So there's a lot of ways to work it. But to get to the core, is this easier, more productive, and more sustainable than the storage auction business? For me, no. No, it's not. But once again, going back to something I said a long time ago, you got to make trade-offs in life, because when I was recovering, this was my deal with God. If I can make 50 G's a year, and I made past that, way past that, then I would continue to write. That was the deal. I didn't go into this with I'm going to write a book and I'm become a millionaire. I didn't go into it like that. I was like, I know how hard it is to move product. And a book is product. This video is product. And people don't understand that because they fall in love with it and it's like their baby. And if you're a writer, what I'm about to say, just close your ears. This stuff about taking 2, 3, 4, 5 years to write a book, what essentially is happening is you're not putting that much time into it. I got this, do the math. If you write 250 words a day, take it 15 minutes, maybe an hour, and you do that every day for a year, that's like 90,000 words, right? That's a novel-length book done in 1 year in 15 minutes to an hour a day. Double your output to 500 words a day. You'll get it done like 3 months sooner, and you don't work weekends. Yep, pretty freaking awesome. I know. And there are people who are in the literary world that's going, no! You must open up a vein and bleed on the page. Yeah, hate me, go ahead. But seriously, any business, anything that you do, if you want to be good and you want to make an excellent income, you're going to work your ass off. That's just the reality of it. So, give me your thoughts, but that's what I think. All right, this is Glendon. We're making money with storage and at auction.